Chapter 2, Lesson 6, Estimate with Percents. So in this lesson, they will learn how to estimate with percents using compatible numbers, and they will learn how to estimate with percents using equivalent ratios. So here it says, Josephina surveyed 298 students and found that 52% like scary movies. Estimate the number of students that like scary movies. So it says write the common percents from 0 to 100 at the top of the bar diagram. So we have 75 people, 150 people, 225 people, and of course the last one would be 300. So above that we want to do 0% to 100. And that's what we would have. 25%, 50% would be half, 75%, and then 100% would be 300. Number 2 says, what common percent is 52% close to? That would be 50%. And then number 3 says, round 298 to the nearest hundred, which would be 300%, which is closest to 100. So use the bar diagram to estimate 52% of 298. So once everything is filled out, we see that 52% is close to 50%, and 298 is close to 300. I can use the numbers in the bar diagram since 150 is 50% of 300. I can estimate that 150 is about 52% of 298. So use the bar diagram below to estimate 73% of 400. So again, we have the diagram, 25, 50, 75%, and then of course 100% would be 400. Here I have an example. Estimate 47% of 692. So we're going to round 47% is closest to 50% or half, and 692 is closest to 700. So half of 700 would be 350. So your answer is about 350. We're not looking for the exact amount, we're looking for estimates. For number 2, it says estimate 60% of 27. What we want to do is change the percent to a fraction. So that would be 60 over 100 reduces to 6 over 10, and that reduces to 3/5. 27 is closest to 25. So we need to find out what times 5 equals 25, which is 5, and 3 times 5 is 15. So 60% of 27 is about 15. Polar bears can eat as much as 10% of their body weight in less than 1 hour. If an adult male polar bear weighs 715 pounds, about how much food can he eat in 1 hour? To determine how much food a polar bear can eat in 1 hour, you need to estimate 10% of 715. So 10% over 100 reduces to 1/10. And 715 reduces to 700. Then we need to decide or figure out what times 10 equals 700, which was 70. And then you multiply the numerator by 70, and you get 70. So the answer is 70. It's about 70 pounds of food in 1 hour. Number 5, an airline records the snack orders of passengers. Last year, 9% of all passengers ordered ginger ale to drink. There are 408 passengers on the flight to Houston, Texas. About how many passengers does the airline expect to order ginger ale on this flight? So 9% of 408. Again, 9 out of 100. It's 9% out of 100. We can't reduce that. We're going to reduce 408 to 400. And 10 times 4 is 400. And 9 times 4 is 36. So 36 is about 9% of 408. So about 36 passengers will order ginger ale. Let's take a look at some of the problems they did in class. Number 1, 47% of 118. 47% rounds off to, or estimated to about 50%. 118 we'll estimate to about 120. So 50% of 120. What is half of 120? That one you can probably do in your head, but if not, we're looking at 50 over 100 estimates to, rounds off to, reduces to a half. So 2 times 60 would be 120, and 1 times 60 would be 60. So the answer is a half, or 60. Number 3, we have 42% of 16. So 42 rounds off to about 40, and 16 we're going to say 15, because we want to try to keep them where they can be reduced and multiplied by 5. So 40 over 100 reduces to 4/10, which reduces to 2/5. So 16 is closest to 15 for this, for these purposes. So 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6. So 42% of 16 would be 6. These are some of the problems that we'll have either later today when we do the lesson, or for homework, or tomorrow. Number 1 says 50% of 39. 50% is pretty much already rounded off, so we're not going to do anything with that. But 39 can round off to 40. So half of 40 would be 20. Let's take a look at number 2. 24% of 13. Number 2, 24 of 13. 24 would be rounded off to 25% over 100, which reduces to 1/4. And 13 is closest to 12. We want to make it again something that we can easily turn back from a 4 to a 12. So 1/4 equals something over 12. So 4 times 3 is 12, and 1 times 3 is 3. So 24% of 13 is about 3, or 1/4 of 12 is 3. Again, we're estimating. We're not looking for the exact amount, just an estimation. And number 3, 19% of 31. 19 would be 20%. 31 would be 30. 20% rounds off to 1/5. 5 times 6 is 30, and 1 times 6 would be 6. So number 3, the answer would be 6.